past. I brought a couple of my own comparables. I think I attached them to they're also in income. There wasn't any comparables in McCammon. 2 years ago, they did the same thing. They used comparables from income. They totally ignored 3 homes that had sold right in my neighborhood at that time. They jumped the value for over 100 grand here. That's not in line with what I've been hearing, the 20% increase. We're talking closer to 40, 45. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Questions?
No questions.
Okay. Your 3 minutes.
Thank you. In reviewing this property, we show it's a home built in 2003, approximately 3,400 square feet, 2,300 of which we show as finished. We show the basement only about 30% finished. When we reviewed sales in the area, to kind of address one of the appellant's concerns about the comparable sales, when we pull comparable sales, what we are looking for is just what did comparable homes in the area sell for. We're not using those 3 or 4 homes to actually set any values. We're using a combination of all the sales in the area. And when we look at the McCammon area, we actually do analyze the sales that are occurring in that area. We do want to see, does the market data show if homes are selling for less because they are further away from a larger city like Pocatello. And what we have observed in this market is that right now people are paying just as much, if not a little bit more, to be just a little bit further outside of a major city area, especially if there's any amount of amenities, outbuildings, anything like that. We're seeing these houses sell for just as much as they might in somewhere like Pocatello. So when we reviewed the property and all the details of the home, everything on our end looks like it has been equitably assessed, and we would recommend that we do uphold that value.
Comments back?
Like I say, my house was assessed last year at 278, and now they're assessing it at 383 something. That's just, I think, unreasonable. Like I say, I agree. I think if I was to sell it tomorrow, I would list it for 350, and I've talked to a realtor that agrees with me on that. The distance is a factor. I don't agree with the fact that, because I drive that every day. That's an hour-long commute back and forth. It does make a difference in what people are willing to pay. I saw this 2 years ago. They assessed my house 2 years ago at 367, and I won that argument. I mean, you can see it was at 278. So, and there was 3 homes in the neighborhood at that time that had sold for around that range. And all the homes in that neighborhood are comparable. They're all similar size. They were all built by the same builder. I think 350 is more along the lines of a fair price, in my opinion.
Okay. Questions from the board? So looking at this residential page again, there's 2 different prices for BOE in 2019. I mean, 2019 we was at 366, and then we went to 329, and then 313.
So what happened that year is I believe with the total volume we had, there were unheard hearings that received a certain percentage, and then there was also a market adjustment made to certain areas. That was one of them. So in that case, when a property had an appeal in and there were 2 different adjustments kind of flagged for that area, it was supposed to receive only the larger of the 2.
Okay.
But due to a clerical error, a lot of these received both adjustments, so they were lowered twice instead of the once.
Okay. And then pretty substantial reduction last year with the correction.
And so last year, some of those trends that get applied to a specific area, we had a trend, I believe, that was removed, and where this home had not yet been drawn in, it wasn't costed based on all of the current data. So there were some that we did observe go down last year. We do feel it was in error, but when we're looking at correcting as many errors as we can before we send those notices out, we're looking for the ones that went up too much before the ones that went down.
Any other questions, boys?
No. I don't know. It's again, this is kind of one of those that, yes and yes. I mean, there's issues of, jumping $100 grand. I get it. I think, what was it? Last year was first year sketched. Last year was first year sketched. This year's first year sketched.
It was sketched during BOE last year, so it would have applied for the first time this year.
Okay. So, again, 100 grand in a year. Last year, I think currently right now today, I think you're probably in the ballpark. But as we look at that time window from October to October, I think that your 350 or so for that last year up until October 1 is probably right, and then you're probably running into your time adjustment on top of that. By now, I think you're in the 383 ballpark, but I think up until January 1st, yeah, I could see the argument of the 350 up until that time, and then the additional time be put on top of it.
Motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move on parcel RPRMBA 1000300 that this parcel be adjusted to $350,000 with adjustments being made off of the improvements.
Motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Now, tell people to quit moving to Idaho because, unfortunately,
I'm
right
not
now-
arguing that my value went up. I just don't think it went up that high.
right now, I would say that you're probably you're getting in that ballpark
Yeah,
range.
but I don't.
I mean,
I think it's above.
Cross your
but-
fingers, and hope it changes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
We
you.
all hope that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we have William Shirtliff. That is a no-show. Lives in the same neighborhood?
Yeah, I think we had a cluster of three.
Three of them from
homeowners right
McCammon?
there.
His value went from 333 to 421, 324.
Hold on 1 second. Mine's not loading. Oh, there it is. What did it go to?
From 333,000 to 421,000. So go ahead and let the assessor's table have a minute, 3 minutes.
Thank you. So when we reviewed this one, with the homes in the McCammon area, we did see some steep increases. So we were looking for the sales data to, point us in the direction of what is happening. And it is one of those situations where we are seeing that area increase at the same rate, if not a little bit higher rate than Pocatello. And so when we consider questions from property owners such as distance from a major city or the major employers, what we're finding is that people that are purchasing in these areas are still paying the same increases that we are seeing. So it's showing us the market is not overly concerned with that extra drive time if it's somebody moving to the area that's keeping.
And the drive time doesn't matter anymore. Most people work from home. It's computer time. But on his neighbor, we just reduced it $30,000, and that's what I would kind of do with this place too. I'd reduce it to 39 from $391,000.
Make that motion.
I'll make a motion that we reduce Mr. Shirtlift's property, I guess I'll say the number, huh? RPRMCPM009317 to $391,000. Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. And that would be on the improvement also, they all are. And then we have an Andy McConkey. So, go ahead and we'll give you, for the assessor table, your 3 minutes.
Thank you. So this is another home in McCammon in the Mountain View Drive area, and when we took a look again at what the sales prices are doing in that area, we do show they are increasing at a pretty substantial rate. We did not find any opportunities for correction on this property. We do have the home drawn in, and it does appear that we have all of the details currently reflected accurately.
Questions on the board? Okay, it's another $100,000 one.
I would
The BOE was $315 last year. BOE was $361.
I would follow suit of what we've done in that neighborhood to keep it. Again, I think that right now today, if they were selling this house right now today, I think the price would definitely warrant it. I think that January 1, I think it's probably, again, a little on the high side, but I think with what's happened with the market and what we've seen and, you know, the amount of appeals and what we do see, that I definitely think it's in line with as of today, but I don't think it's as in line as January 1. So I would
Except the 350. 384.
384.
384. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would move for parcel RPRMBA1000400 that we adjust it to 384,000 and off of the improvements.
Your motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes unanimously. So now we have some administrative that we can do. What's the process? Kevin V. Holt?
Last year, we just went through each parcel and where we were at. The administrative ones, does everybody have a time? I'd ask, you guys had a chance to review all of them? I haven't read my administrative ones yet.
Okay.
I was prepping for today,
We'll
last night.
review them and then put them on the agenda as we have time. So go ahead and put us at recess until 11 o'clock.